Okay, so let me start with XRP. So at the moment we're in an impulse correction down, yeah. So, but let me just start with a zoomed out session. So here is the whole history of XRP, yeah. So we've had one pump, two pumps. Uh, I believe XRP has only had its second bull run. It's still due to have its third one, yeah. But these blue lines here are part of the ascending support lines and resistance of the first bull run. And now they're coming into play. We're playing right here on them, yeah. And then equally, you can see these channels. Actually, the yellow line, see these channels? See the channel here? So these lines are also coming into play. So when I zoom into my next chart, here we go. Now you know what these blue lines are. So you can see these blue lines coming into play, and then equally the yellow line, and I have another yellow line here. So you can see this yellow line. So that the yellow line I showed you earlier on, the bigger one, here it is here in the local play of things. So look how accurate it is in the local play of things. Now I'm going to put that back. I'll zoom in first. So now I'm going to zoom in. I'm just mindful how many lines I have. So now you can see the fib here. I'll have to show you this. You can see the fib from the top to the bottom here. There we go. So you can see the golden pocket. So we are playing in the golden pocket. So there's price action, and we've been in the golden pocket for the last bunch of days, yeah. So when you zoom in, and I'll go to the 4 hour. So now you can see this yellow, or not yellow, purple channel. From the top of this breakdown, this whole descending channel that we've been in, you can see this purple channel, and you can see this breakout here. It failed. See the breakout here, it floated across. We dropped back into it again. Excuse me. So you can see that we're playing in this purple channel at the moment. And the question is, are we going for a breakout of it, or are we going for a drop? So now when you zoom in on the 4 hour, remember the blue lines? So you can see now, while we're playing in this purple channel descending, we also got these blue lines here as support and resistance, yeah? So when you zoom in a little bit more, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce this. Actually, no, I won't for now. I'll reduce it for a bit, yeah. Just to make it visually easier to recognize. So I'll just fade out these purple lines here for now. You know what they are. Okay, so now you can see price action is, you see this blue line here, and then this blue line here. So it's creating a descending triangle. Excuse me. They have a tendency to break down. Okay, so now let's look at the breakup first, because I think it's more likely to break down. If it breaks up, this impulse we're in now, its correction is 29.7, which takes us back to the blue line. So we could have another impulse here, a smaller one, a correction, and then a pump, and we could be heading back up to 35 or closer to the top of this. So I will put a fib on from the bottom here to the top line here, excuse me, here, and is potentially we could be getting a bounce off this line, and either a smaller one here like this, or a pump and it breaks out, and we head up to about the 786, nearly to the top of this, which would take us up to about 38. So if we break out, we're heading up to about 38 first, yeah? Now, I'm going to put it back to the daily, simply to look at the 20 EMA and the 55 on the daily. So you can see, if we break out, we'll be getting above the 20 EMA for the first time in a long time. So I think it would bounce up here. I think it would get rejected, and this would be mountain peak, come back down to a third drop, and again, this would be part of the bigger pump, taking us up to the mid 40s. Possibly, if we wick through that, we'd be heading up to somewhere around the 50 mark, the 1618. So that's the if we were breaking out, that's what we would do: bounce, bounce, and then bounce up again. Yeah. So now back to the 4 hour. Let's get rid of this fib. If we're breaking down, again, remember the purple channel? Purple channel here. If we're breaking down, if you look at how we're playing in this purple channel, it looks like we could be coming back to the bottom of this purple channel. Now there's a green support line there. That's another channel, but the purple one's enough. But the green, it supports coming back onto this channel as well. Yeah. So we could be coming down for 26 or so. Yeah. Now if I take the descending triangle from here to there, and I put it at breakout here, that would take us lower. That would take us down to about 24. Let's be a little bit conservative and say if we break out of this blue channel, is potentially we could be heading all the way down to the bottom of the next blue channel, which again be 24 and a half. So the range looks like it could be 26 to 24. Now again, it can fall short, obviously, and do a 27 and a half, but that's the general range that it looks like it's gonna. If we break down, this looks like where we're going to go. Yeah. So the trade I'm in at the moment is I went into it last night. Is I took a short up here. I took a short to this white line, 32.56. I'm in, yeah, and I'm looking to hit the target of 29.7, which essentially is there's the 786 at 29.59. I'm looking to take my profit on the blue line. Yeah, now it's a little slow getting down, but I think that's because this time around the 20 on the 1 hour crossed the 55, so you can see that needs to be turned a little bit. Yeah, is the 15. Let me zoom in there. The 15 crossed over here to the pump, so now here's the 20 crossing to 55 on the 15 minute, and it's done it. So we are due a proper push down from that. And equally, you can see the way it's bouncing along here in the purple line is we'd be coming back into the purple channel. So I think there is a bit of resistance getting back into it. What turned the ship around was the 5. The 5 broke the 20, crossed the 55 on the 5. So that was the peak. Here was the crossover, and look, here's the VWAP. Look, the VWAP come up in support. So you got the VWAP came around, come up here, support, as in it became resistance. So VWAP turned into resistance. The 5 crossed over the 50, the 20 crossed over the 55 in the 5 minute, and now here's our push down. So now here's this, and I think the 15 minute is going to bring us all the way. It's going to bring us all the way down. To be honest, it's a good argument to say the 15 minute could push us down further, and equally when the hour turns, that could push us down further as well. So to me it looks potentially more like a breakdown, as in a continuation down than a pump up. As it stands, that's the way it looks. Yeah. And again, you can see this divergence line was broke, so we can get rid of that for now. And then I adjusted the white lines here. I had these different channel lines as we were going along. Let me just fade that back again. Different channel lines as we were going along in this arc, but now it's just played out to a nice straight simple channel here. Yeah. Equally, you could just measure the breakout of this. There's another potential let's take this down like this. Here we go. Look, that'll take it down onto that yellow line, which would be 27.5. So you can see that this would take it down to 27.5. Yeah, and I think this is probably the most conservative. If it breaks through, I think 27.5 is the most conservative. I think that realistically, between the three of them, 27.5, 26, and 25, this is the reasonable one because it's the midline. Also, it's the purple channel. Yeah. So that's where I think we are. So I think we're coming down on this impulse to hit 29.7. It may decide that it's on a bigger play of things, and that it's just going to keep coming down, or we may get a bounce here, and then a drop. Either way is we need to see what happens at 29.7 or so. Yeah. So on the 15-minute arc, same thing here. You can see it's dropped down. One wave, two waves, and again we're super close to breakout. Yeah. Excuse me. So one of the ways of recognizing the breakout here would be following this support line. Again, 28.20. This would give a lower one because you can see the channel support there. Yeah. So 28.9 will be the breakout of this triangle. Yeah. Where would I put its target? Just very simply, two options here. I can do this, which again brings it down to 22.5. Okay, and you might be thinking, ooh, what's going on here? I'll show you now, and I'm going to show you on the MAs. I know I'm going long and I'm taking my time. This is Monday, so there's a lot has happened. A lot has happened. So the turn of the day yesterday is the 7-week turned. Was it 7 week? 6 week. The 6 week turned yesterday, yeah. And the 6 week, you look at the candles going on these last 6 weeks. The 5 crossed over the 20 on the 6 week, equally the 20 EMA. This is on a 6 week candle. The 5 crossed the 20. That's substantial. Now there's quite a distance away, so we go, okay, there could be a turn there. It might not go any further. The 3 week changed as well. The 3 week turn. Now the 3 week, this is across. The 5 has crossed the 50 on the 3 week, and the wick of the 5 is substantial. So this cannot be ignored with regards to push down. This, if you saw the 5 crossing the 50 on any timeline, you'd be going, oh yeah, that's gone down. And it's gone down with a decent push. There's going to be a fair old push on this. The Bollinger Band on this at the moment is at 24.8. I think it's easily going to 20, 19 even. It could even go lower. But that for the next 3 weeks is we're going to be dealing with the pressure of this. Yeah. On the 2 week, again the 5 is coming down like a hammer. You can see how much the 5 travels. So it's well in a position to keep pushing. The Bollinger on that one is 23. Equally, the 10 has crossed the 55 here. The 20 has crossed the 50. So this is still added pressure. On the weekly, again, here's the 5, putting pressure on here. Again, look at the Bollinger. The Bollinger down here is 80 and 23. So that's. I think this is the space that we could be moving into, yeah. Where 26 is a step down. 26 is a step down. Potentially, we could be taking another step down to late teens. We could be going further, to be honest. So on the 6th day, again, you can see the spill kicking in. I'm going to go through these days pretty fast. Here's the 5 has changed. Again, look, it's still coming down. This all looks very spilly. You can see it's gone 4 days, a little sideways, but still coming down. There's the 3. Again, you can see them going a little sideways. So here is the 2 day. And again, the VWAP is turned up, but the 5 is coming down strong. So again, there could be an argument for you get a push down. Look, there's the Bollinger at 28.87. So there's the correction for today. Is we get a lift back up, and that lift may be stronger and give us that lift up more. There's the 10. There's the medial line on the 2 day at 36.48. There's the 20 at 38. So could we get that lift up to 38? Is yes. Yes, we could get the bounce down today for the correction. Sorry about all that banging. And the pump up to the 38. We definitely get that. But don't be surprised if we come up here and then start heading down further, yeah? We just got to see how it plays out, this correction. But now this on the daily, there's that banging. Sorry about that banging. On the daily now, this looks fairly brutal for a drop. Here's the 10 coming in, really applying itself. The 5's after turning down, cutting through the VWAP. VWAP sideways. The correction for today is going to take us down to 29.7, the bottom here. So it's hard to imagine the pressure of this is going to be able to be turned and lifted back up today. So the correction here, and then the Bollinger is at 28. So again, we got to see what happens as the day goes along. Yeah. So the 12-hour, I'm going to move along a bit faster now. Yeah. You can just see I'm giving you the overview of the MAs. And last night was a big change with regards to change of MAs. So again, look, the 20 is coming down strong here on the 12-hour. 10 is a little sideways. But again, there's the Bollinger at 29.76. So you definitely see that correction is getting support here, yeah? Let me just go to the 4 or the 8-hour. Again, there's the Bollinger 29.78. Here's the correction coming in. Again, there's the VWAP as resistance. So the 4-hour. And again, here's the Bollinger at 29.34. So the reason why I'm just going through these hours a little bit more is you can start to see they're gathering. See the way they're all clumping together? And I'm pretty sure we're heading down here. So now as they gather here and they come down here, the question is that when we get the retrace back up, is it strong enough to break through, or will we get a rejection and a push down? So you can see what I'm thinking, yeah? So this again, see they're getting tighter again. Getting tighter again. So let me just show you now. This again, breaking through all these, coming down for 29.7 or so. The impulse of this would be smaller again. The question is, when it comes up, can it break the 200 on the hour? Or will it be an impulse and a rejection and then down? Or a breakthrough? So that's what we're looking for, yeah? Again, I could keep going in, but you get the idea. We have tonight. Hale is saying we have tonight as well for the review. Okay, maybe this is the review. Maybe we say this is the London session and it's the review, so we don't have to record twice.
Yeah, but for me, I have to for Bitcoin and Ethereum because they're sideways now.
Okay.
So they're less volatile than XRP.
Okay. So now. I've got this beautiful chart that I could talk you through, but I won't, because I would just be telling you, I'd be just be telling you the same thing. So I'm going to leave you with my validations and invalidations. Yeah. So I believe we're coming down to 29.72. Is for it to break down, break out of this. Is it needs to break 29.72 clearly. But I think we're going to come down here and potentially have a retrace. Maybe go to here, go to there, and then come down. So that would be okay. Possibly a lift. The bounce back up could possibly go to. Oh, there we go. See if it comes down here, bounces. There's another impulse up. It could head up to around 32.5 again. Yeah, and again, this might look like a breakout, which could be a potential fake out. And then we get the correction here, and the correction continues down. So I think we got to look for 29.7 and watch to see what it does below. The rebound up is the impulse up is up between 32 and 32.50 would be the target. Yeah. If we start to see something more substantial up, moving wise up, is I think we would need to see it break above the white channel here. So if we start to see it break above 33, so we see it starting to move above 33 here, is again we could be heading up to there we go, the 272 here at 38.7. So that's what we're looking for, yeah. So I think the range that we need to be really watching for is 33 and 29. Let's put it down here even a little bit more. There we go. Even let's put it down. Let's say 29. So for the breakout is we need to see it move below 29 proper, and for the breakup we need to see it move above 33 proper. That's really the range. Outside of that, we're still playing the impulses. Yeah. Okay. So that's me for now. I'm going to hand it over to Mihaela. This is also my weekly review. So while this is the London session, I've just recorded my weekly review. Mihaela might want to do a weekly review for Bitcoin and Ethereum later on.
Yeah, I'll do one tonight.
I will just attach this video to it. Okay, so let me hand you over to Mihaela. We do questions after this, yeah. There you go.
Okay. Now, let me see if I have my. Do I have my my screen shared?
No, you don't.
Where's the? I'll here screen.
That's right.
I'll stop streaming this one, and I'll start streaming this one. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Hello, guys. Good morning. Now, let's see where we are with Bitcoin at the moment. Now, Bitcoin and Ethereum have been quite volatile this weekend, but they've been moving in the same space. I'll start with the support and resistance lines for Bitcoin. So here is where we are. Now, I'll show you where we were before the weekend and where we are now. So before the weekend, we were moving in this space, and we were wondering, is this a bottom formation for the up? And we said, my opinion at that moment was we're more likely to break downwards than upwards. So I had the confirmation for the downwards and the invalidation for the downwards. And we did break the confirmation for the downwards. We met the target to a T. And then we formed a bottom formation and went up to the midline of this, what looks like a blowhorn formation, a slightly descending sideways channel. So we're more or less in the same space. At the moment, I'm not in any trade in Bitcoin. I took my profits here, and then this was too volatile. I didn't personally trust this move too much. Again, I'm looking at the support and resistance line on the day today to see what's going to happen. Now, there are two things that might happen. We may come up to this midline one more time, the white line, and then head down. I'll put a pathway onto it. So from where we are, we may come up here and test the midline one more time, and then come down for the bottom line, and possibly even for a double bottom around the 17,000 area. Or if we do get above the midline and test it, we might come up to the top line, and again we'll see what that is. Now this is again I do find this scenario to be not so likely as the previous one. Where's the there's I find the downward movement to be a little bit more likely, considering the momentum that we have for it. This move required a lot of energy to get it up to the midline. It doesn't seem to have kept it there or got it above it. So again, we might be testing the midline. We might slightly pierce through it in an attempt to do a stop loss hunt, and then come down for the bottom line. And again, the bottom line is still the confirmation for downwards. And if we break the bottom line again, that would be a double bottom, and it might reach slightly lower. Sometimes double bottoms can reach slightly lower than the previous one, to around there it is, 17,300, 400. Again, I'd take my profit a little bit earlier. It's safer this way, a couple of hundreds earlier. So this is where Bitcoin is from the point of view of support and resistance, and it's holding the recent support and resistance. It's in the same structure. It's met the target here. Now this, if it holds this double bottom here, it would be a strong double bottom for a reversal. But we do need to see this midline broken. So as for any channel, once the midline gets broken and retested, the top line would be the next target. So we have to see what's going to happen there. From the point of view of DMAs, again, on the weekly, it's looking really scary this week, because the 5 is coming over to cross over the 200. It hasn't done it yet, but it looks like by the end of this week, this might happen. What happened the previous week was the 20 crossing over the 100, and we did get that spill. We'll see what happens day by day this week. There is a lot of talk about recovery. I don't see that recovery energy personally yet. On the day, we seem to want to stay above the 5 MA, which would be a first support. We have a nice railway roads candle formation here, which would be a nice sign for reversal. But then again, if we lose this candle today, if we lose this MA today, the 5 MA on the day, I think a double bottom would be the next logical target. Now, that's where we are today. I'm expecting to get more information in the London session and then the New York session, and see whether or not we're holding this 5 MA on the day, which would be again for the upwards, that would be a nice support to hold. And that 5 on the day would be the 20, the midline of the Bollinger for the 4 hour. So we do have some support for the upwards move, but at the moment we need to see it follow it with momentum. So there needs to be a strong, consistent momentum going upwards. Ethereum is in a similar situation. A lot more level in terms of its support and resistance channels. The sideways channels has been moving into. Now I have 3 types of lines here. The thin white lines are the long-term support and resistance, So the 1500, the 1550, let's say 1350, and 1050. So these are the long-term support and resistance lines. As with Bitcoin, what Ethereum did this weekend was it dropped out of this sideways channel. Before the weekend, it was accumulating here. There was some price compression happening here. And then on Saturday, it dropped out, and that was the technical target. I thought it was going to get to 850. It only got to 800, I think, 76. So, but it didn't meet the technical target of the channel and went slightly below it. And then, like Bitcoin, came back into the structure, and it's now holding support. If you haven't taken a trade either down here or up here, once it gains support of this bottom line, right now you would be in the middle of the middle. So it's good to, at the moment, to wait for confirmation to see what it's going to do at the midline. Or if it's gonna come down and test the yellow line again, and the yellow line is still a confirmation of the downward move, or the top one would be the invalidation of that downward move. The midline is the 1150, which is a strong support and resistance line. Just like Ethereum seems to be a little bit farther from the midline than Bitcoin, but I do expect it sometime today to test this and maybe start heading down, or just continue heading down and hit the bottom line. In terms of MAs, Ethereum, like Bitcoin, seems to have some support on the 4-hour, and we also have a crossing. We have the 10 crossing over the 20 on the 4-hour, which hasn't happened for a while. So it hasn't happened since this previous the accumulation here up here. Now, it looks great on the 4-hour. What I'm particularly mindful of on the 4-hour is it came up here, it did a nice little lift, and then this candle here to me is really suspicious because it retraced quite heavily. So that's some severe downward pressure if I'm to look at it. So again, if we hold this, as is, this one, if we hold this as is on the 4-hour and we continue over to test the 1150, which was the midline. So if we go up to test the 1150, which is also the 50 on the 4-hour, we have two options. We can either get rejected here and form a double top formation heading for a double bottom formation after its rejection, or we can gain support over the 50 and then continue upwards. And the MAs are quite widely spread. That's generally a sign of reversal. But again, I'm getting quite mixed signals in terms of the momentum upwards being sustainable. So I don't trust that this move upwards as is at the moment is sustainable. I think we need to consolidate a little bit more. A double bottom formation will give it a more solid pace for it to continue upwards. I'm not saying that it won't continue upwards this week. I'm just saying that today this looks like a very to me it looks like a less sustainable move upwards as is. But I am taking it level by level. So if I see the 50 holding on the 4-hour, I will see it as support gain moving on to the next level, which is the 1260, 1280, and then possibly the next level at around 1400s, which would be really, really good for Ethereum. So these are I'll be posting in the chat right after I hang up with you guys, my charts, and that's it for me. I'll see you in the New York session where we'll have a better look of what's happened in the London one. See you later.
Super. Thanks, guys.